This is Strategic Drive.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another Strategic Drive. This time I have a new hostage, Miss Aiza Azam. She's Director Strategic Affairs at Strafasia. Thank you aane ke liye.
Thank you for inviting me.
Me and Ahmed were getting bored.
Yeah, and I thought I'd give Ahmed a little bit of a break so that he doesn't have to be held hostage.
I'm still here.
Jeez.
Ji, Assalamu
Okay, Ahmed. Hello.
So, two hostages. I got an upgrade. दो बंदे आ गए काबू में. अच्छा, तो
What's the topic for today?
the topic is in a very simple sense that we don't have a topic. Every week, geopolitically speaking, वही चीजें चल रही हैं.
Yeah.
मिडल ईस्ट में जंग चल रही है. ईस्टर्न यूरोप में रशिया यूक्रेन का कुछ चल रहा है. Ukraine is trying to get involved into the US-Iran war in one way or another. And पाकिस्तान इंडिया का मसला हो सकता है हो जाए, क्या पता मॉनसून के बाद.
I mean, I get what you're saying because, you know, as educators, as researchers, academics, whatever, as analysts, it does get a little bit tiring day after day, analyzing the same thing. It's basically sort of just a repeat of the same thing, right? The actors might change, the faces might change, and obviously when you talk faces, you mean individuals and states and whatever. But really, nothing really changes. And while, I mean, मज़ा आता है, ठीक है, exciting है कि कोई ना कोई नई चीज़, जैसे हम अपने students को भी कहते हैं, you know, कि there's never a dull moment in IR when you're teaching them or you're studying it. लेकिन फिर कुछ ऐसे बाद सब कुछ redundant ही लगने लग जाता.
मतलब हाँ सेम चीज चले जा रही है ना. मिडल ईस्ट में अफगानिस्तान में रशिया आया, जंग हो रही है. उसके बाद दोबारा अफगानिस्तान में अमेरिका आया, वो जंग हो रही है. फिर इराक में जंग हो रही है. इट्स if we look at, I mean, if you want to be very much कि नहीं बड़ी जंग, मतलब if you want to get hype out of it, we can. लेकिन अगर आप zoom out करके देखना शुरू हो तो it starts to all blend together.
Yeah.
It boils down to a few variables. Resources हैं, oil है, geopolitical significance है, बस वही चीज़ चले जा रही है. There is nothing new in it in that sense. और मुझे मतलब I think it's a larger structural problem. जो पुराने strategists ने कहा था कि the heartland है, वहाँ पे जंग होगी, so Eastern Europe will continue to be in conflict. Middle East will continue to be in conflict.
लेकिन but then I would ask you guys, so are we saying that there is no point in analyzing all of these things to death because nothing ever really changes?
नहीं, that's not what, that's our job.
That's our job, right?
नहीं,
No, I mean also because we're interested in it. It's what we do, right?
Jokes aside, it's not, my point is more कि हम हर दफ़ा अगर उसकी बिल्कुल specificities को analyze करेंगे तो I think we'll tend to forget the larger picture, the structural problems in play. Like I still would blame the British in World War I or whoever was with them. When you neglect the local dynamics of a region, the local power structures of a region, and create in sort of artificial borders or मतलब जानबूझ के आप एक फैक्शन को सपोर्ट करें कि वो दूसरी को टॉपल कर दे, तो आप you're manipulating an organic system.
Yeah.
जो पावर के साइकिल्स होते हैं. तो जब आप उसको मैनिपुलेट करेंगे तो वो एरिया परपेचुअली प्रॉब्लमैटिक रहेगा. And that's what we're seeing in the Middle East. Same with Eastern Europe. Not so much with Eastern Europe. That is maybe a more classical case of the balance of power situation between Russia resurging as a great large power and US having problems with it.
Yeah.
So the point being कि sometimes जो larger structural aspects होते हैं उनको analyze करना भी बड़ा important हो जाता है.
Yeah, so the same analogy actually also applies to internal dynamics as well, right? It's not just external dynamics,
Very much.
regional or whatever. Ahmed, what do you think? What's your take on this?
I just have one point. World War I के अंदर there's a book called The Sleepwalkers in which they argue that Europe sleepwalked into World War I. Like they were not conscious. They were not consciously doing it. One thing led to another, and you know eventually they knew every empire is fighting each other. I'm wondering, like what is happening in the world right now is more of a sleepwalking because US is looking at just Iran.
Right.
And Russia is looking at Ukraine, and US deals with Russia and Iran differently. But Russia and Iran are also working together, and US is working with everyone who is an ally against Russia and Iran. So what if they also walk into a conflict that is bigger than bilateral conflicts like US Iran and Russia Ukraine. But if they all amalgamate and become something bigger, because we know North Korea is working with Russia, we know North Korea is working with Iran as well, we know that Saudi Arabia has problem with Israel, US is working with Israel. It's like a mixture of things, right? So what if the mess gets out of the ball and we have it on the kitchen sink? What do we do then?
It's a very interesting point. क्योंकि मतलब जिस हद तक खिंचपिच हुई हुई है ना, मतलब पाकिस्तान का सऊदीया के साथ भी बहुत अच्छा वो है, यमन को भी हम वो कह रहे हैं कि जो गलत कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान को. So at one time we're siding with one party, but on the other we're also neutral, and then on the third page we're also very close with Iran. तो इस complex web में you never know what trigger point could be that start of the next world war.
Absolutely. And then Pakistan, for instance, looks at Saudi Arabia as a bilateral issue. But I mean, Pakistan was not even thinking about Iran when they signed the contract. Iran actually came on UN and said we welcome the defense deal between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. And then Iran became somewhat of a problem for the deal. So I mean, when we take decisions, we take it from a different policy lens. But when they play out in real world, which is unpredictable, which is complex, which you cannot always comprehend. So that's a problem that leaders might be sleepwalking geopolitics, and we say it's the same thing because they are doing the same thing. If you do not change your actions, you cannot have different outcomes. So what if the leaders are also sleepwalking again?
Can I introduce a different angle to this, because I think the question is kind of interesting, क्योंकि हमने बात कहाँ से शुरू की थी कि हम वही geopolitics, और आज हम, because before we started this actually हम यही discuss कर रहे थे कि अच्छा अब क्या नया topic है. We spent 20 minutes
trying to find a specific topic.
Yeah, that we could get excited enough about कि अच्छा कोई नई चीज़ हो रही है. And yes, I mean I know that things day to day, hour to hour चीज़ें evolve हो रही हैं, right? लेकिन क्या यही जिंदगी में रह गया है बस इसी चीज़ पे करते रहे? So let me read a quote that I found yesterday, which I thought was really interesting. So this is by Nick Montgomery, and he wrote, he wrote, quote, "Is it possible to be militant about creativity and care? Can militancy be based on something that is responsive and relationship based? Can people be militant about joy?" End quote. So the reason that I'm bringing this up is कि again obviously मैं militancy की बात नहीं कर रही, but इसका quote it really just got me thinking कि because when you think of geopolitics, right, so it's कि आप कैसे आप survival के लिए, आप interest के लिए आपके पास एक agenda होता है जो state का काम है पूरा करना, ठीक है, survival and protection of your people, right? So but it just got me thinking कि हमारी जो पूरी की पूरी existence है, and I'm a political realist, so I get it, right? हमारी जो पूरी की पूरी existence है वो इन्हीं चीज़ों पे revolve करती है. Partially इसका link शायद हम कह सकते हैं उससे है, उस debate से है कि किस चीज़ को आप define करते हो as a traditional threat and किस चीज़ को as a non-traditional threat or a non-traditional security concern. लेकिन इसका quote it just got me thinking कि as human beings, the things that we should be most passionate about, हमारी एक limited ज़िंदगी है सबकी, किसी को कुछ पता नहीं किसके पास सबके पास कितना time है. Is it possible to be as aggressively protective, as aggressively interested in driving security of what brings us joy, what makes us create, what makes us think? Do you think that's even possible? या ये फिर this is something कि it's I know कि काफ़ी सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जिनको अगर ये बात कहें तो वो कहेंगे ये न्यू एज थिंकिंग है या इसका कोई रेलेवेंस नहीं है. आई थिंक एब्सोल्युटली इसकी रेलेवेंस है इंसान होने के नाते. Just think about जो हम geopolitics, ठीक है, हम जो डिस्कशन करते हैं, you're right, it's our careers and you're right, it's something that's of interest to us. लेकिन ये चीज़ें they outlive all of us, right? कल को हमने पढ़ाना छोड़ दिया या हम रिटायर कर गए या जो भी हो जाए whatever, तो ये चीज़ें तो रुकेंगी नहीं. तो on a very basic individual level, क्या वो चीज़ है जो हमें उतनी ज़्यादा या इतनी ही इंटेंसिटी के साथ मैटर करनी चाहिए? That's what I started thinking about this. He said, can you be this passionate, or to use his words, can you be militant about joy? Sometimes I wonder if that's even possible given जो हमारी situation है.
To critique our own kind for a while. आपने जिस तरह कहा कि अगर आप जाके academics से कहते हो कि इस बारे में बात करते हैं, they're like this is new age thinking. Counter-terrorism पे my biggest problem was, if you ask a counter-terrorist strategist, does counter-terrorism work? They'll always say it does. If you go ask a barber, you need a haircut, they'll say yes you do. So that's the same thing. If
yeah,
you ask
yeah.
someone who spent their whole life protecting the state security, which I don't even get what it is, because what is state security? They are not trying to secure people. That's a lie that they've told us. Nobody is trying to secure people, because if it is about securing people, then why are we so conscious about people going outside of Pakistan? मतलब हमें चाहिए कुवैत के वीज़ास भी, जहाँ हमें पता है लेबर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन होती है, हम फिर भी उनसे वीज़ा मांगते हैं, या सऊदी अरब किया बट नॉट. लेकिन हम एट द सेम टाइम कहते हैं हमारा सोल पर्पस सिक्योरिंग द सिटीजन है. आई थिंक स्टेट इज मोर केयरफुल अबाउट सिक्योरिंग द स्टेट इटसेल्फ, व्हिच इज द इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ, उसमें टेरिटरी आती है सब कुछ. सो आई थिंक टू क्रिटिक द एकेडमिक्स, they say that they need to secure this, just like they created an argument that we need nuclear weapons for our security, because that what keeps their jobs running. I mean, that's it. If you read counterterrorism expert, how they write about counterterrorism in news articles and whatnot, all they're trying to say is, let me keep my job. They're not trying to figure out the problem. They're trying to make the problem sustain longer so they can provide for themselves.
Yeah, creating justification.
Probably a hot take, but yeah.
Speaking of hot takes, that's a new series that we plan to start.
Yeah, hot takes.
Hot strategy. I think
We'll come back to the name.
I would agree with Ahmed, but like in this context, there's a lot of inertia against that approach.
True.
Like पूरा जो system है वो it is like whether it's a news cycle का system, the IRSS का जो education का जो system है, हम हर चीज़ को securitize, problematize करके वो कर रहे हैं. And बाकी जो मतलब जो लिखा जा रहा है, जो जनरल आर्टिकल में, जो op-eds में, जो बुक्स में, वो इतना बड़ा एक मजमुआ है
बिल्कुल
कि trying this other way, like securitizing the things that bring us the essence of being human or the essence of being happy, उसको एक सबसे major concern मतलब बीच में लाके रखना would be I think like just for the sake of one's own life, वो आप कर सकें, लेकिन professionally speaking it would be very difficult to make a lot of headway. But that being said, unless someone starts doing it, there'll never be any headway. And that is, I mean, I think that would fall along the line with the critical school की theory नहीं है, the critical theory के you question all the existing setups, to like, you know, you just like break it down and then you can bring something else.
I mean, I think मुझे ये भी लगता है कि ये जो चीज़ जब आप आफ्टर you've grown several decades, आपने अपना पढ़ाई भी कर लिया, आपने अपना करियर भी स्टार्ट कर लिया, मिड करियर पहुंच के whatever, उसके बाद आफ्टर अ सर्टेन पॉइंट you get a family, तो आपकी जो एक तो प्रायोरिटीज ऑफ कोर्स शिफ्ट होती हैं. बट आई थिंक मुझे ये लगता है फ्रॉम माय ओन एक्सपीरियंस, आई मीन ऑनेस्टली सिंस आई क्रॉस्ड 40, राइट, सो आई थिंक द ओल्डर यू गेट आफ्टर अ सर्टेन एज, यू जस्ट स्टार्ट टू बिकम अ लॉट मोर कॉन्शियस कि क्या चीज़ आपको, बिकॉज you become aware of the fact कि आपकी ज़िंदगी और कितनी रहती है, ठीक है. तो आपकी जो sort of कि क्या चीज़ कितनी important है, किस चीज़ को आपको कितना ज़्यादा अपने आप को agitate करना चाहिए. So like, you know, at the end of the day sometimes I wonder if I need to be as agitated about what's going on in, let's say, you know, the Middle East, or should I be more agitated about what's going to make me happy, what's going to make my family happy in the next month.
I think, I mean, like, carrying that specific conversation forward, कि the war in the Middle East is affecting the things that makes us happy. For instance, the financial markets going down the drain affects us. जो exchange rate है, जो चीज़ें आप खरीद सकते हैं, जो inflation है, to what extent can you travel, कहाँ जा सकते हैं, कहाँ नहीं जा सकते. तो from that perspective, the political realist in me says that we go off this discourse and say कि नहीं ये जंग important है क्योंकि आपकी ज़िंदगी को असर कर रही है.
But you know the same argument could be made in a slightly different way, because हमारी जो ये personal खुशियाँ हैं, इनको prioritize करना, individual खुशियों को important है, इसलिए हमें इन चीज़ों को बेहतर करना चाहिए.
Yes.
So it's basically
and we should
saying the same
actively
thing.
look to it. And again, this would be a hot strategy take. कि I, from my soul, believe, and I have nothing against engineers and their technical degrees.
Don't you?
No. But
And
my point is that the humanities and the social sciences or the political science is the governing discipline of everything else. Because these fields deal with the interplay and dynamics of social life, of political organization, of the state system.
Yeah.
और उस पे सिस्टम के अंदर ये सब कुछ है कि किस बिल्डिंग को बनाना है, किस ब्रिज को किस सपोर्ट स्ट्रक्चर के साथ बनाना है, कौन सी कंक्रीट इस्तेमाल करनी है, वो सिविल इंजीनियर आके बाद में करेगा, या ऑटोमोटिव इंजीनियर गाड़ी बाद में डिजाइन करेगा. पहले ये तो डिसाइड हो कि वो वहाँ से इम्पोर्ट हो भी सकती है या नहीं. या जो आपको जो स्टील चाहिए चाइना से, कैन यू परचेज इट और इज देयर लाइक टैरिफ और सैंक्शन ऑन इट. So these fields govern everything. So because and given that वहाँ पे जो चीज़ें हो रही हैं, जो जंगें, जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, तमाम चीज़ें जो हो रही हैं, उसका जो इम्पैक्ट हमारी पर्सनल लाइफ्स पे आता है, it makes it not just because we're in the field of security studies or IR. Anyone who is a human being and enjoys their life should be concerned about this. लोगों के दिमाग में एक ही चीज़ आ गई कि जी हमारे सोचने करने से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. नेपाल, बांग्लादेश, इंडिया, यूरोपियन यूनियन. नेपाल, बांग्लादेश में तो दे टॉपल्ड गवर्नमेंट्स. इंडिया में दे गॉट अ मिनिस्टर टू रिजाइन एंड मोदी टू गो ऑन द बैक फुट. एंड देन ईस्टर्न यूरोप एंड द अदर कंट्रीज, a major portion of why those countries did not fully support the US in the way that they did in the Iraq and Afghanistan war was the local public sentiment. क्योंकि they knew, because they were elected representatives, कि अगर हमने ये किया तो बाद में हमारा धंधा कैसे चलेगा सियासत का. तो more and more people being aware of things in the geopolitical domain and caring about it and saying something about it does matter. तो इसलिए geopolitics की जो significance है या humanities की significance है, it's undeniable, it is paramount, but sometimes you can still run out of topics.
Yeah, we can.
Despite that, there'll be कभी नहीं स्पेसिफिक लाइक जंग चल रही है. Probably a new barrage of missiles was fired. Probably Trump said something rhetorical and aggressive. Probably another video of Netanyahu screaming at Rubio and the other exit guy came out. But it's the same old things. So at a certain point you need to start getting into जो हमने जहाँ से बात शुरू की. Or what I'd like to focus on is the structural elements. Okay, why is the Middle East this way? Why is Pakistan and India at each other's throats? Why can Eastern Europe not be resolved? मतलब फ्रांस और जर्मनी की भी तो resolution हो गई थी ना एक point पे.
Absolutely, I mean
like,
exactly.
They were wanting to kill each other at the first sight. लेकिन मसला resolve हो गया.
So that means it takes will.
It takes 2 world wars.
It takes will and a calamity.
Yeah, all right. So which is the scary part? Because then what do we need to do? Do we need खुदा ना खास्ता कि कोई calamity हो ताकि फिर हमारी आंखें इतनी खुले?
क्योंकि human psychology, humans we never will. क्योंकि human psychology is very
stubborn, lazy,
simplistic. I don't want to say dumb, but it's so simple. Like it's so simplistic कि जब तक हम अपने आगे आग जलती हुई नहीं देखते, तब तक हम उस पे पानी नहीं फेंकते. So unless we see a fire or we get burned, until you get burned by a fire, you won't really do much.
Or probably this is where academics come in. We have to show them that there is a fire coming. Just keep on shouting.
I've been teaching climate security for 2 years, man. Let's hope that works. But like, you're right. The academia, the researchers, and not just us, like the other people who are not specifically in the field, but again just care about these things. Pick up a phone, talk about it. It doesn't have to be on a social media platform. Talk to your friends about it.
Do what we're doing right now.
Or do this. But like also just like आप कहीं बैठे हुए हो, why don't you talk about how the Britain, how they divvied up the Middle East? Why don't people talk more about the Radcliffe line? भाई क्यों? क्या हुआ last minute पे? अगले साल होनी थी पार्टीशन. एक साल पीछे क्यों की?
because इससे फिर वो भी आर्गुमेंट है ना कि because जो चीजें those who forget history are doomed to repeat it, right? So वो वाली आर्गुमेंट आ जाती है कि just because ठीक है किताबों में है वो सारी चीजें हैं, they're on record, लेकिन उनको याद रखना, उनको डिस्कस करना, making history needs to be as much part of your present thinking as anything else does. हमारा totally जो focus है वो अगर future पे ही है, तो जो पुरानी चीजें, because जैसे जहाँ से बात आपने भी शुरू की कि हम वही patterns, वही चीजें, वही systemic issues बार बार वो खड़े हो रहे हैं. So that means कि if you're not changing that, then maybe there is something wrong with your approach, with your thinking. और इसमें फिर खाली leadership नहीं आती, इसमें तो फिर इसमें analysts आते हैं, इसमें हम जैसे लोग आते हैं, academics आते हैं.
So society, everyone is sort of at fault there. क्योंकि in the age of ChatGPT and Claude etc., what is stopping you from giving a prompt? In the last 3 years of a partition, क्या हुआ था exactly? What was the plan and how did it change? आपको facts आ जाएंगे, आप उस पर आप बात करें, talk about it, discuss it. right? But I don't know, maybe it's the analysts and the academics are at fault कि we don't motivate the students properly, कि आप इस तरह चीज़ों को critical discussion करें. Maybe we just continue to focus कि ये op-ed लिख दें या ये quiz कर दें. हम भी गुजारे system में चलते रहते
I have
हैं.
another angle about this as well, because a lot of times academics or analysts, they are compelled to analyze or go for what is one trending, current, and also what they can actually get funding for.
True.
So you try telling somebody कि मुझे एक research paper publish करना है on the the whole ये जो partition से पहले क्या गड़बड़ हुई, और आप हमें पता है कि हमें जवाब क्या मिलेगा. So unless you can come up with a new angle, which I understand, research needs to bring in something of a gap, right? लेकिन that should not mean कि उस पे research करनी नहीं चाहिए या उस पे कोई मजीद उसके बारे में पढ़ना नहीं चाहिए, उसको current discourse में नहीं लाना
Classrooms
चाहिए.
में तो उसको students को वो कह सकते हैं
Yeah.
कि think about things outside of the box, think about them structurally, not just आज क्या हुआ, लेकिन 30 साल से क्या हो रहा है, and where is the pattern that we can extract from
The
it.
pattern, yeah, that's true. Exactly right.
I think we've had a very long multiple tangential discussions.
Yeah.
किसी हमें we should put a close to this,
Yeah.
and let's see if in the next episode I have another hostage.
Yeah.
पूरी गाड़ी भर लेते हैं.
सारी गाड़ी में लोग ही लोग.
हाँ. Thank you everyone
very
for
much.
watching.
Thanks,
See
it
you
was fun.
later.
Bye.
Allah Hafiz.